What? What? It's all clear now.
So then... Just a second! No! What the... No way!
Amount of time, which you may use however you like, the class trial will begin.
Are you okay with this? So... Sorry.
Danganronpa.
Whatever.
What? What?
What? Hey!
I see.
Damn.
Indeed.
What did you say? Come on.
What? Hey!
Indeed.
What did you... Why?
Huh?
Hina.
No way! No!
Hina. What?
Well... Huh?
Damn. Bastard!
Huh?
Damn.
This...
Ugh!
Huh?
Stop talking.
Huh?
Not possible.
Huh? Well... It is so.
That's fine.
Let's see...
That's right.
Shing! Let's see...
Perhaps.
In other words... What?
So then... But... Cause, I mean...
Hina.
Huh? Huh?
Damn.
Goodbye.
A body has, after a certain amount of time, which you may use however you like.
It's the Monokuma file! What?
Stop talking.
Punishment is waiting for you. See ya.
What the heck? That's terrible! Why? Why?
He's alive again? Where cold? I remember now.
Come on, you...
I remember before I met... It's like...
Hey, Ifumi, who tried to...
Oh, that's right. Yasu... Hiro...
Honestly.
Stop talking.
Then perhaps...
So, in other words,
What is this?
that's fine.
Indeed.
Very strange.
Well. Perhaps.
Monokuma appear! Yep.
Speaking of which, I'd like to ask the bear.
So you ask, and Skeech Murder is allowed to have an accomplice, but
So, in other words, two people can work together. But
And there's no way anyone would work.
in other words,
So then.
hey, phew.
So, in other words,
Well, extreme! Well now,
However,
Indeed. So, What? Oh! You SOB! Huh? You gotta be kidding! What the heck? What? Yep. What are you saying? Let's see.
so then.
It's all clear now.
So then. However.
So, But,
So, in other words, What? What? I see. That's enough. Goodbye.
Let's see. Yes, indeed. Indeed. Oh. Huh?
It's all clear now. Goodbye.
Just a second. Okay.
I mean... Huh? Oh! Huh?
Right.
Don't be mean!
What? Well... It's nothing. Hey. And?
I mean... Huh? Let me out of here! You got it all wrong!
It would seem...
So then, honestly, is that okay? Could it be... That's terrible! Just the worst.
What?
That's right.
What the heck?
Please!
What are you saying?
What the heck?
Okay. Huh. See? Look, I mean, come on. I'm blind as a bat in here. Can't see my feet at all. I'm
telling you, it wasn't...
And not to mention, you totally can't bend at the waist. Seems...
That's not a very nice thing to say. I mean, it's not like I made it.
Well, either way. I mean, it seems pretty clear that nobody but Hiro could have fit into this dumb costume. Just a second.
But...
Honestly.
What the heck?
Just the worst. Oh. Then perhaps...
What the heck?
Just the word.
Huh? How about that?
So then,
I'm at least 30% right.
correct.
What the heck?
Oh, so... Hey.
Just the word.
So,
Huh?
Don't be mean.
Just a second.
No way.
What the heck? Just the worst. What are you saying?
What?
Makoto. It would seem... Why is that? Anyway... Shall we go? Hey. Correct. Hey. Anyway... So then... I knew it. I see. Hey. Whew. So then... In other words... However... Makoto. Because... Hey. Is that right? So that...
So then.
Indeed. That's right. Indeed. Why is that? Hey. So... However... Is that right? So... Hey. So then... Hey. Is that right?
Are you excited? Are you pumped? It's time for the class trial to begin! Like the bright burst of fireworks, like the flash. And so, with no further ado, everyone please meet at the usual spot. Make your way to the See you soon!
It would seem... Shall we go?
Monokuma appears! Wrong.
Whew.
Boy.
Stop talking.
Okay. Hey! Hey!
Let's go.
Please!
What the heck?
What the heck?
Hey.
That's right.
Just the one.
What?
Come on.
Yoo-hoo! Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you can now,
We already know who did it!
was that?
It was Hiro. He does not have an alibi for when the murders took place, and we found him in that suit. Don't try and deny it! You killed them!
I didn't! Someone knocked me out! I was asleep the whole time! I don't know—
Shut your murdering mouth, murderer!
How are you calling a murderer?
I am sorry to say, Hiro, but we do have evidence. Blueprints for the suit. Parts we assume were used to build it, and all of it was found in your room. It points to you as having created the—
How many times do I have to tell? I don't know! I don't know! I don't know!
everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you are the culprit.
I don't know anything about that stuff! It's not true! It's a conspiracy!
Hiro, why? Why did you kill them?
No! Just hold on a second!
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough. Nothing's wrong.
Are we sure Hiro really made those?
What do you mean?
Well, it's the note that Hiro wrote. The handwriting's obviously when you compare it to the blueprint.
There's no way you could think the same person made...
Unless that person made it up.
No, the differences are bigger than that, I think.
Come on! I'm not smart enough to think of trying to change my—
So Makoto, are you saying you don't think Hiro's the culprit?
And he's not the only one.
Then who was in that robot? Is it like Hiro said? Was there really someone running around in a second suit?
The suspicious individual hidden within the suit. Go ahead, Makoto.
So? Who was in the Robo Justice suit?
I got it! Other than Hiro.
Be no doubt.
That doesn't make any sense.
It makes perfect sense. Hiro—
So what you're saying—
That's right. The culprit in this case has nothing to do—
What? Now that's a boldest. And what reason do you have to make such a statement?
Of course. But before we get to that, there's something else we need to clarify first.
Hey, stop trying to boss us around!
All things have a problem.
So what is it?
We must clarify the method of transportation for Taka's lifeless body. It would seem that his corpse was moved using— Makoto, can you tell us what they were?
I got it! I got it! They were... So... Taka's body disappeared from the equipment room. And then we rediscovered it in the repository. And when we found it for the second time, it was wrapped in a blue tarp, right? It was the same tarp that, up until then, was stored in the equipment room. So the killer must have seen it there and decided to use it when they moved Taka's body. That way, they wouldn't leave any bloodstains while they were moving it.
Okay, that explains the tarp. And the dolly?
Same thing. I'm sure the dolly was in the... But when the body disappeared, so did the dolly. Later, when Taka's body reappeared in the repository, so did the dolly.
In other words, you think they used the dolly to move the body, am I right? But are you sure you are not mistaken?
Huh?
Are you absolutely positive that dolly was made specifically for moving large objects? It would be very strange indeed. Is it not possible that it was in the repository all along, and you...
She's raised an objection.
There is no shame in being wrong. Nobody expects much from you anyway. We have all accepted the fact that you rarely understand what is going on around you. You have it wrong! I cannot agree! You are a fool! So pathetic! Lies will get you nowhere! Do your worst! Away with you! You miserable wretch! I cannot agree! You are a fool! Lies will get you nowhere! Do your worst! You miserable wretch! You have it wrong! I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. You miserable wretch. You miserable wretch. You have it wrong! I cannot agree! You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. I cannot...
This should prove it! If you're asking for proof, when I found the dolly in the repository, there was a pool of blood in the equipment room. The killer probably rolled the dolly through the blood on accident as they wheeled the body out of the room and as the blood dried on the tire. So there's my proof that...
Well, anyway, that was just something we had to get out of the way.
Yeah, the subject of how Robo Justice didn't do it. What kind of robot is—
I'm not sure that—
I'd be happy to explain why if you look back on how the body was As we know, Taka was killed in the equipment room. And from there, the body was moved to the repository, correct?
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp, then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Now, keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a handle.
Well, yeah, but even without a handle, all you'd have to do is bend over. Then you could push the dolly no problem. So the killer just crouched down and carted the body off to the repository.
If you accept everything we just said, then you must realize that whoever was in the suit couldn't possibly be the culprit.
Sorry, I don't think I realize anything.
As we know, Taka was killed in the equipment room. And from there, the body was moved to the
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp, then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Now, keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a handle.
Well, yeah, but even without a handle, all you'd have to do is bend over.
No, that's wrong! You're absolutely right that you could, but if you were wearing that suit, what do you think back to what you said when we were all— When you're in that suit, now, am I right about that?
Now that you mention—
It seems like it'd be awfully hard to push that dolly if you—
Well, what's to stop—
When you can't even see your feet? You really think—
Yeah, it'd be totally impossible! Not that I can say—
On top of that, if you were wearing such a rigid, cumbersome suit, it's very unlikely you would have the dexterity to go—
Well, I mean, isn't that just a matter of taking off the suit when you're ready to move the body?
I got it! I don't think taking off the suit would—
That's true. It seems—
Then you
Of course I was.
If he could have gotten it off by himself, showing up in the suit was basically an invitation.
Yeah, that's right!
So,
To be clear, whoever did move the body, it couldn't have been—
no, wait. Just a second, if you please. You all got a good look at it, did you not? If whoever was in that suit is not the culprit, how do you explain that? Besides, do you remember what the now deceased Hifumi said? So long as those facts exist, the individual inside the suit— Yeah.
Hold on a second!
It's still far too— Besides, there's no— Before we rush to a verdict, shouldn't— Instead of seizing on one viewpoint, the truth is uncovered by analyzing—
Perhaps, but where do we go from here?
Let's review this series of unfortunate events from the beginning. Maybe—
What a pain in the ass!
I don't disagree, but our lives are on the—
Plus, maybe we'll get to find out where the heck Kyoko was when everything went down.
All right then. Let's take another look back at— I suppose we could stop. 4 of us gathered together and we waited there for quite a while. That was around 8 a.m.
And as soon as we split—
Soon after that, Hina found Celeste.
I know it was an hour.
That was when we saw Celeste's picture. As it turns out, it also soon became clear. We were soon joined in our search by Byakuya and Toko. He was injured, so we took him to the nurse's office and resumed our— But not long after leaving the—
When Celeste told us that, and soon after that,
I saw someone moving around on the third.
And then... At that point, we decided Celeste, Hina, and I, while Sakura, Byakuya... When we got back to the nurse's office, we found Hifumi dead. And that's when we heard the body discovery announcement. I left Celeste and Hina there and headed back to the third floor to let the others know what had happened.
Meanwhile, we had just discovered Taka's body in the equipment room. We must have found both bodies at almost exactly the same time, because we heard the same announcement not long after we discovered his body.
And that's when I told you guys about Hifumi. Then the three of us headed for the nurse's office. But right after we left the physics lab, we ran into Celeste, who'd We rushed back to the nurse's office.
Then we remembered we'd left Toko passed out in the... But when we got there, we did X thing we knew, and after some
Celeste informed us that she'd found the bodies, and we all headed to the repository, which is where we rediscovered the corpse.
I think that about...
I see. It certainly seems to me that
Okay, well...
rather than a single series of events, I think we have to consider each murder a separate situation, and from there, we can uncover... Now then, let's get So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from...
See? So it's obvious Taka came after. I wonder if, or perhaps it was... We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed.
No, that's wrong! Hold on. There's no reason to assume that the hammers were used in the same order as their numbers. If anything, that's just another way the killer tried to disguise their actions.
So you're saying the culprit wanted us to think the hammers were used in order, But in reality, Taka was killed before Hifumi? Okay then, let's see the proof.
Now I understand. I've got it. Papa's wristwatch. See? Look. It broke.
It must have gotten broken when he was... So if it wasn't broken after 6...
And that would be his official time of death.
But if that's true, then he was killed.
And before Celeste was attacked this morning, which happened around 7.
That's right. Taka was killed before any of the other incidents took place.
That simple fact slipped past all of us. We made the wrong assumption about the order.
That's exactly why the culprit wrote the numbers on each hammer and had them increase in size. That way, when we saw how they were used in each incident, we'd easily make that wrong assumption.
Now, if Taka was killed around 6, because when he was killed, we had...
That may be true in the case of Taka's murder, but all of our alibis still hold true for Hifumi's death.
That's right. With him, at least. When we heard Hifumi screaming, we were all together. Then we all ran down to the... That's totally true! We're all in the clear!
Oh, I know! They must have recorded him screaming on a tape!
If that's true...
I don't know.
Don't just go making...
Anyway, we all have rock-solid alibis since all of us were there together. Clearly, none of us could have killed him.
And it does not stop there. There was also the moment when we discovered his body had disappeared. When his body vanished from the nurse's office, Hina and I were in the bathroom together. And then there's the disappearance of Taka's body. At that time, we were all gathered together in the nurse's office because of Hifumi going missing. Well, don't forget, I was passed out in the equipment room the whole time.
Wait, then what if Genocide Jill did it? She could have dragged Taka's body out of there right then!
Even if she could pull that off, there's no way she could have done the same with Hifumi's body. Because, as we just established...
Besides, I didn't do either of them anyway. In other words, it is impossible that any of us could have killed Hifumi. Or, on the other hand, Hiro and Kyoko had disappeared. So then...
For now, we can't get fixated on who did. So instead of who, I propose we start talking about... In particular, I think we need to figure out how Hifumi's body...
That's true. We searched everywhere, but we couldn't figure out, and according to what Celeste said... His body apparently disappeared in the 1 minute her, but to carry that much weight from the...
Oh man, yeah! There's...
Well, what if I told...
What?
If the dead body were to move itself?
The dead body?
No!
I don't think it has anything to do with... We thought Hifumi was dead.
He was... alive?
Are you saying Hifumi wasn't carried out of the nurse's office, but simply...
But I mean, we found his body. He was dead.
Perhaps he was simply playing dead.
That... it isn't possible.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Shoot!
I refuse to give up yet!
Are you saying that when we first, there's a chance he was actually...
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body of Hifumi's dead body had been found, and that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually...
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found.
No, that's wrong! Was the body discovery announcement that was made really intended for Hifumi?
Of course it was. The announcement played right after we discovered his...
Maybe. But that was also the same time that Taka's body was...
That's right. It wasn't long after finding his body that we heard the announcement.
So there's a good chance we've made a mistake in there somewhere. I think we've confused whether the announcement was for Hifumi or Taka.
First of all, if two bodies had been found, there really should have been two.
Maybe Monokuma simply got lazy and...
What do you say, Monokuma?
Well, it's a very sad... But what I can say about the... It's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead...
That didn't answer our question, man.
No, actually, he said it's only broadcast when a body is discovered for the first time. Which means, even if we find the same body again later, he won't make the announcement again. If that's true, then why was the announcement made again later on?
Huh? Later on?
Exactly. We heard the body... I got it! heard it a second time in the repository. It didn't seem weird at the time, but it could.
Exactly. If we were actually rediscovering both bodies, the announcement shouldn't have played.
And in reality, when the two dead bodies were rediscovered, one of them was actually discovered for the first time.
So, when we found Hifumi the first meaning, he wasn't actually found dead.
And that's just part of it. There's one other thing that leads me to believe.
Oh, I know! Because he was super good at playing dead! That is the worst logic I have ever heard. But honestly, I do not think there's anything that can prove.
Okay then, let's take another look at the events surrounding the discovery of his body. Then it should become clear whether he was really alive or not.
This whole thing is pointless.
Well, here's one thing we do know. The first time we found Hifumi's body was in the nurse's office. And then, while me and Celeste were in the bathroom, his body disappeared.
And the next time we saw his body, it was in the repository.
But when you compare his body before being moved and his body after being moved, other than the change in how it was positioned, there was no notable difference.
Then, was he really still alive?
Of course not. It is impossible. This is ridiculous.
Well, here's the first time we found him, and then his body disappeared.
And the next time we saw his body, it was in the repository.
But when you compare his body before being moved and his body other than the change in how it was positioned, there was no notable difference.
No, it's wrong! In fact, there was one clear his glasses. That fact alone proves that he was only...
Perhaps you'd like to feel the...
When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered with blood. But when we found him again later in the repository, they were spotless. And I found the item he used. I got it! It was a glasses cleaning cloth featuring a certain cartoon mascot. One look at the bloodstain on the cloth should make things clear. This piece of cloth was used to wipe the... And the mascot on the cloth is the same one that's on the digital camera. And whose digital camera was it?
The character was Princess Piggles from Demon Angel Pretty Pudgy Princess.
I highly doubt anyone but Hifumi would have brought something like this.
I see your point. And the only people here...
I wouldn't be caught dead using a tacky piece of garbage like that.
A few tissues is all I need to keep my glasses clean.
Then there's no question. What I'm saying is, the blood on...
Even if that is true, it does
But who would benefit from a clean pair of glasses?
That's a good...
And it must have been him.
So let's assume that Hifumi was still alive and the nurse pretends to be dead. Then he stands up and walks in with that, the impossible task of moving his copious corpse.
But then, if he was just pretending to be dead, what was with all that blood? Was it paint or something?
The fridge in the nurse's office contains packs of blood.
He figured if he was gonna play dead, he should go all out, so he just dumped it everywhere! But he got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done! God, what an idiot!
And if Hifumi was still alive at that point, the disappearance of Taka's body is easily explained. It should be perfectly obvious who must have moved Taka's corpse.
I got it! It could only have been Hifumi.
While we were all gathered in the nurse's office, he went to the equipment room and took Taka's...
That also explains how the door to the repository got locked.
The door was locked? Well, after the bodies disappeared, so me and Sakura headed for the repository. But when we got there, the door was locked.
And the repository door can only be locked from the inside, which means when Hina and Sakura got to the repository...
And it could only have been Hifumi, who just finished stashing Taka's body there.
He convinced us all he was dead, and when he saw his chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository. So, Hifumi wasn't just another victim in this case. He was one of the assailants.
But that means he took part.
If you're having trouble, would you like me to show...
There's more?
Oh, absolutely. The single biggest fact pointing to his involvement has yet to be... You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The item he took off of Taka's lifeless body?
I got it! You're talking about the note Hifumi had...
Hidden note?
That's right. We found it stuffed in his pants.
What? Pants?
Yes.
Okay, well, forget about the pants for now. Take a look at what the note...
That's the note I was telling you about. Huh? Wait, this Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else.
I see. Then this note isn't...
It's not the same?
In other words, the killer got in touch with another person besides Hiro, and that person could only have been... I got it! That's right! The killer used this note to draw out Taka and murder him.
Hello? Over here! Objection! I don't really understand what's going on, but... So whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out TikTok, they were drawing out Huffy! Just... Oh, yes! Why must you ruin it every time? Huffy had the note, right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Huffy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok! Huffy had the note, right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Huffy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
No, it's wrong! No! They're absolutely...
What the hell are you talking about?
The note said to meet at 6 a.m. You've already proven that using his... But there's more. Look, the equipment room, right?
Which is where Taka was killed.
So, Taka was murdered at both the time and place. I think that should be plenty to show that this...
Well, no further objections!
Then someone used that note to trick Taka. The culprit really is a cold-blooded...
But if they gave the note to Taka, what was Hifumi doing with it? Stuffed down his pants, no less!
Most likely. Hifumi stole it off Taka's corpse after he died.
He stole it?
Where's your proof? Go ahead, show us.
I got it! When I searched Taka's body, I saw that his lifeless hand was, if I'm right about this, the sheet of... I knew it! It fits perfectly.
Then Taka's scrap.
Yup, they're from the same piece of paper.
Hifumi had the note meant for Taka, while Taka's corpse still grasped a small piece of that note. There's only one way to explain it.
Taka died clutching the note. Hifumi tried to free the note from its death grip, leaving behind only one small scrap. Did I get all that right?
That means Hifumi knew the...
Exactly.
Whoa, yeah. After seeing all this, Hifumi was super involved in this whole thing. In fact, he was behind the whole thing! In fact, he's still alive!
Sorry, no. When we found him in the repository, the second body discovery announcement.
So then,
Whoever did is the mastermind. The true
he was killed in the repository. So he must have been killed not long after transporting Taka's body.
So, he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished, but before we found both bodies in the repository.
During that time, we'd all split up and were searching for Taka's missing body. In other words, during that time, none of us have alibis.
wait! But me and Sakura were together. Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus! Who are you calling a walrus?
Anyway, when they were killed bothers me too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
And what might that be?
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi.
The weapon?
Yeah. Because, I mean, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same. But Justice Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office. So if Hifumi was killed in the repository, the culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Hifumi, then put the hammer back where they found it. But wouldn't that be seriously risky for him?
I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours after all.
Hell yeah! It's packed in there good and tight.
He's right, though. I don't understand it either. The Monokuma file makes it clear that they were killed using similar instruments. But if the hammers were already laying around those other...
So the question is, how could the culprit have gotten their hands on either of personally? I haven't a clue.
So which hammer was used to attack Celeste? Number 1 or not?
Those were accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one...
Is it not possible that...
I don't think it is possible. They were both...
So then... What was used to kill Hifumi? Was it Justice Hammer 3? Maybe Justice Hammer 4?
Well, whatever it was, there's one thing we have to figure out. How was the culprit able to move around so freely with the weapon? How did nobody witness them carrying it?
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance! Check out murdergear.com/hammertime for more info!
Well, one thing seems pretty clear. The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice Hammers! And, that's about it.
What was used to kill Hifumi? Was it Justice Hammer 3? Maybe Justice...
There's one thing we have to figure out. How was the culprit able to move around so freely with the weapon? How did nobody witness them carrying it?
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance! Check out murdergear.com/hammertime for more info!
Well, one thing seems pretty clear. The murder weapon had to be one of the...
No, that's wrong! The murder weapon wasn't a Justice Hammer at all. No, it was something completely different.
But, seriously? A different weapon?
Specifically, a hammer from the repository. Now, All the hammers in the repository were covered in, but for some reason... And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder. If the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to... I'd also like to point out that there were... and even some flat mallet-like ones. I think whoever made the Justice Hammers used those as a bait...
If that's true, that would explain...
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used a hammer to kill him.
Whoever did that is the true killer. The one Hifumi was working with. And the one who betrayed him.
Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together with him. The way the graduation rule works, there is no benefit to helping someone else. So the idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can assuming the rule holds true. It is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
Based on the rules, even if more than one, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate, assuming the rule holds true. It is simply impossible that two people work together.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply...
No, that's wrong! Since there were two murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.
What do you mean?
If there'd only been one murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice... Naturally, if only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk...
Risk versus reward.
The payoff for working together. The reward that balances out the risk of taking part in a scheme. There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit. However, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, then cooperate.
You're saying that two people could act...
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for... And based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka. They made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back out of helping them later on.
So in this case, there wasn't once. Instead, each person killed someone. And it only looked like one person, a single suspicious individual, by creating one seamless set of search...
The mastermind picked their target and then to avoid the Noah, which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning.
That's just...
You think so? I can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of a
I understand how an accomplice could be involved.
That's problem numero uno, right?
Here's my answer. It was Celeste.
So I'm the suspicious individual now. I really do hate this kind of joke.
A joke?
So what you are saying, then, is that the idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him, that I would go within 10 feet of that shit for brains, that lazy, worthless, goddamn idiot! Pardon-moi.
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
Is that so?
It is. Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior that was, considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of...
The behavior they had in common has to do with the only ones who ever actually saw Robo-Justice firsthand were Celeste and Hifumi.
Shush. The adults are talking now.
Sorry.
As he said, only Celeste and Hifumi ever laid eyes on the costumed individual. If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can...
Are you saying everything they told us was a...
After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual, correct? And not too long after that, do you remember what's... We headed to the second floor specifically because of what she claimed to have seen. Next, to draw us all to the physics lab up on...
She let out a blood...
And when we'd all come to see what was wrong... Once she'd done her job of getting us all up to the physics lab, it was time for her partner to get to...
It was to get us to divide into two groups. So that we would discover both bodies at the same time?
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we... Well, if Celeste and Hifumi... And on top of that, that piercing cry of... That was to signal Hifumi, wasn't it? It was your way of telling him we are on the third floor. Why else would you let out a scream that could have...
I just realized when we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead. Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered. You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our minds.
I don't believe it! Everything!
Hina, you were with Celeste when Hifumi's body...
Yeah? Wait! Then that was...
She wasn't worried about you.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
I have no idea what you mean.
Don't bother trying to deny. You made one fatal mistake.
Oh, did I?
I didn't even catch it myself when you first looking back. I can say that one little slip-up was your undoing. I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office.
I remember her saying that too.
Then pay attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the equipment room. Then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed. So Sakura and I left. Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste, and the four of us headed to the nurse's office. Now, the entire time we were together, none of us said anything about Taka being dead. Think about it. Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. It was completely out of place.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Although
You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having... If you're really not the culprit...
All I said was... They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died. And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it, what was so strange about Celeste's comment?
All I said, they must really enjoying the sight of us. They must be. We are going to die. And that is all.
And that's all it took. What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
All I said was, they must really enjoying the sight of us. They must be. We are going to die.
Just like those. And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it, what was so strange about Celeste's comment?
All I said, they must really enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused.
They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those...
No, that's wrong. That's right. There's no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys died. When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead.
Exactly. And we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall. So there was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room.
So how did you know, Celeste? How did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys? Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too.
You all have such vivid imaginations. You know that?
Imaginations?
You claim that I was lying when I told you about the Then what about the picture I took? How do you explain this picture of...
It has to be some kind of setup, so let's put the suit on. And then she used the camera's timer to...
Have you so quickly forgotten? You are plus I happen to know that this... In other words, it is an unassailable fact that this... If everything I told you...
Simple. Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away?
What could you possibly mean by that?
Surely there are other explanations than the one you...
No, there is no other explanation.
It's not a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. I would say it's a picture of Hifumi
That's certainly within the realm of possible. The one being dragged off in that picture, we've simply been led to believe that it's the other way around. And the strange costume might only exist to lead us if you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation.
That's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy and all.
Such a is utterly impossible. Hifumi was dragging him away?
Is it? I don't.
Then shut your mouth and allow me to educate you.
Dressed me up in that suit after I passed out. Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight. You tried to make me look like the bad guy.
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
Then the fortune-telling idiot is the culprit after all!
No way! And had him carry my weight. You tried to make me look like the bad guy.
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture. The suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up.
No, that's wrong. No. Even if the person inside the suit were unconscious, they could because that Robo-Justice suit had a...
That's right! They totally made a mistake when they made it.
I'm not so sure that was a... I think the suit was designed from...
Celeste and Hifumi took the suit they'd specially designed. That's how they were able to fake. The point of it all was to make us believe whoever was it.
Well then, I suppose this is checkmate.
Checkmate?
Don't make me laugh, you idiot! What do you mean, checkmate?
Celeste?
Clearly, you want to cram me into your little guilty box. Well, there's one little problem.
Have you already forgotten what Hifumi told us as he lay dying? When we asked him who had attacked him, his answer was quite clear, was it not? He said, and I quote, Yasuhiro.
In other words, Yasuhiro Hakagure!
Right, but my name isn't really Yasuhiro. It's actually Taro.
Your confusing statements don't make any sense.
He did say Yasuhiro.
What the hell are you talking about? I'll burn you alive!
Kyoko, what do you
Think back to how Hifumi... How did he refer to each of us?
That's right! Our last names! He called us all by our last names!
Exactly. I know I heard him say Mr. Naegi more than once. So if Hifumi did mean to say Hiro's name, he would have said his last name, Hagakure.
I'm sure it was just incidental. By chance, his first name. Indecent?
Don't talk.
Random chance. Now isn't that a convenient explanation? No. There's no reason to think he would have said the name, but he must have run out of energy before.
So Hifumi was trying to tell us the last name of whoever killed him?
But the name he said doesn't apply to anyone here.
Well, no. And that's Celeste. She never actually told us what her real name is.
What did you just say? To think you'd take your false accusation so far, I don't know whether to laugh or spit! Come on! Enough with your idiotic blather! Yasuhiro is a loser's name! Do I look like a loser to you? Well, do I? What? I think I've earned the right to be a little on edge.
Okay, then Phyllis...
Make sure my real name is Celestia Ludenberg. Could you please stop making me repeat myself?
Hifumi was trying to tell us something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name, Yasuhiro.
If there's one person here who might have that last name...
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone what your real name is.
How many times do I have to tell you? My name is... Celestia Ludenberg! God damn it!
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not pretending. It's the truth. And since you have no way to contradict me, that's the only truth there is! Moron!
Hifumi was trying to tell us something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name, Yasuhiro.
If there's one person here who might have that last name...
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone what your real name is.
How many times do I have to tell you? My name is... Celestia Ludenberg! God damn it!
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not pretending. It's the truth. And since you have no way to contradict me, that's the only truth there is! Moron!
Hifumi was trying to tell us something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name, Yasuhiro.
If there's one person here who might have that last name...
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone what your real name is.
How many times do I have to tell you? My name is... Celestia Ludenberg! God damn it!
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not pretending. It's the truth. And since you have no way to contradict me...
No, that's wrong! That's it!
What?
Anytime you turn your handbook on, Monokuma told us all... So all we have to do is... That's how we can find out
That's an invasion of privacy! I refuse to cooperate!
Celeste, can you please just tell us what really... Please, just tell us.
Even when I'm put in check, it's just my nature not to give up. Because... Until the game's over, you never never know what might happen!
Fine then. Let me go over the case again, and that'll bring Here's exactly what happened. Before anything, the killer Hifumi, with an accomplice, the killer was able to execute a number of otherwise impossible schemes. first, they convinced someone that someone named the murderous duo intended to pass Hiro off as the... They drugged him, knocked him. Next, Hifumi positioned himself to make it while the killer used a digital camera to take pictures of the... They did all this just to create evidence that would put... When they were done with him, they shoved him, still unconscious, into the... And then finally, at 6 a.m., they called Taka to the equipment room. And that's where Hifumi killed him, making it the scene. The murder weapon was Justice Hammer 4, which was the reason Hammer number 4 was used, was to create confusion about the order of the crimes. So, next they falsified 2 more assault incidents. For these attacks, the killers pretended to be the victims, to solidify Robo Justice as the suspect. The first fake incident was the attack in the rec room. There, the killers wanted us to... They wanted to make sure we bought them. The second fake incident was the... This time, they planted Justice Hammer 2. With these 2 incidents, the killer... That the suspect was increasing the size of... We fell right into their trap. While we did that, we left Hifumi alone in the nurse's office. This was exactly what Hifumi was hoping for. He took a blood packet from the refrigerator and Justice Hammer 3 and turned the room into a crime scene in which he himself had apparently been brutally murdered. He let out a scream to draw us back, and when we returned, meanwhile, the other group that had been out searching found Taka's body at the same time. So when we heard the body discovery announcement, we left the nurse's office, and he got up and made his escape. When we learned his body had disappeared, we all reckoned once again Hifumi had the chance he was waiting for. This time, he wrapped Taka's body in a tarp. That explains how each... But even Hifumi didn't know what the true killer had in mind for their final act. Their plan all along was to kill Hifumi, and they did it using an ordinary, everyday hammer. That should cover everything that happened. Celeste! Sorry, you lose.
When was the last time I was forced to utter such words? They hang heavy around my neck.
Then you admit it? You're the killer?
Listen to you, trying to take charge, as if you're my private instructor. I, Celestia Ludenberg. Actually, no. Taeko Yasuhiro is fine.
Taeko?
So, you finally accepted it.
I'm the kind of person, once I've lost, I don't like things to drag on.
Interesting.
Okay, Monokuma. I'm ready to begin. Or, no, I suppose this is the end.
It is indeed the moment we've all been waiting for. If you would, please locate your lever, and when the votes are tallied, who will become... Will you make the right choice, or...
Honestly.
I knew it. So then...
Indeed.
Say what?
Just a second. In other words...
Indeed.
I see.
Actually...
What?
Are you okay with... So then...
Damnation! Say what?
As for me...
Oh.
As for me...
What? Damnation! Say what? Completely unforgivable!
Most unfortunate. Actually...
What?
Indeed.
Completely unforgivable!
Honestly.
I swear I will save her!
Actually...
I see.
Indeed.
But...
Let's see...
Well,
Are you okay with this?
so in the end,
What the heck?
Well,
Don't be mean!
I wonder about that.
Why?
What the heck?
But...
You little bitch! Hey! You little bitch!
This is fine. Honestly. As for me, isn't it wonderful? This is fine. There is nothing to be done.
Just the worst.
Oh. Do you understand?
What is this?
Yes, indeed. Isn't it wonderful?
Hey...
Chills! Kick! Now then, I prepared a very special punishment! Let's give it
I guess I'll let Kyoko hold on to this. What? Will it really give you the hope you're looking for? I can't say I ever saw it that way. Which is why... Actually, it's not important. Well then... Take care, everyone. Perhaps we'll meet again. In another life.
What are you gonna do?
Let me out of here!
Too bad. How strange. Hey! Hey!
So then, you...
Ooh!
Hey,
Ooh, how See ya.
so...
Hey,
Indeed. Hey,
What?
so...
Come on. What? Goodbye.
well then.
Yo!
Okay.
Shall we go? So then...
You're really cool. No.
You... However... What? Indeed. What? It's true. That's fine. Correct. Correct.
a question.
How dare this was?
I've made a decision. I will no longer retreat. I've made my. I'm going.
But you haven't forgotten what I'm holding.
Indeed.
I see.
It's true.
You got it!
You know? We're serious.
Well...
According to the spirits...
However...
How about that? It's not like some occult mystery. The occult is bullcrap! You got it all wrong!
So...
Actually... But... the end is nigh! Some crazy beam came out of me, and as soon as the beam touched, and that's still floating there. One part of it just vanished. Do you realize it means the burger was something like 70% pork? You can't trick me. How about that? Don't be mean.
Yeah!
Of course.
Indeed.
Well.
But...
What?